everyone, it's Allie from Equilibrium Pittsburgh Movement Studio, and I've been doing a series of short videos showing you some exercises that can help build upper body strength and tone the arms. So I am using it's actually a Kando Flex Band. There's TheraBand, there's lots of different brands of bands. So it doesn't matter which kind you use. And this one's quite long, so you can't really buy like one band this length. This is, I think, almost 8 feet. You can get shorter ones where you can just order them off of Amazon, but I actually, for my studio and for my classes, I like them to be a lot longer because you can just use them. There's a lot more variety and you can be a lot more creative. So I actually buy a roll, so you can do that as well, and then you just cut them. These are medium resistance, and that works for me. If you want more resistance, a heavier band, you can get those, and there's also lighter ones if you're thinking that this might be a little too much for you. You want to be gentle if you are coming back from any kind of shoulder injury. You don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to be sitting on this today. We're going to do some side arms, some rotator cuff work. So I just opened this up and I lay it out. And sometimes when we sit, it's hard for us to get like right up on our sits bones. And that posture it's really important for this work. We really want to make sure our bones, especially our shoulder girdle, is in some really nice balanced alignment so that we're strengthening those muscles around where those bones should go. So you could use a blanket, a towel, you could use a yoga block, you could use a couple of pillows, and basically, I'm going to turn sideways. If you're feeling like this at all, we want to prop so that it allows for the hips to open a little bit and those legs to relax, and then we're in this beautiful posture that we really do need for our sidearm work. So from there, I'm just going to sit down. I sit right on my band. I'm going to take it and I'm going to cross it over like a little seatbelt. And I have my palm facing up. How much tension you want to use, how much resistance is completely up to you, but just remember, you really want to be in that beautiful alignment, you want to be able to breathe, and you are then going to be able to also complete the movement, and then we return. So this is a little external rotation. Now, because I have the band only on one side of my body, I'm going to find my midline. I'm going to find that center line in my body. It's like my nose, breastbone, belly button, pubic bone. And is that center line really staying fluid in the middle, or is it getting pulled over? And if it is, you are just going to be mindful and center it. So I don't know how many I did, probably like 10. If you're in my classes, you know it's a wise idea to count sometimes. So 10 of these are when you're beginning to feel it. And we could always add a little rotation with this. So I'm going to start with my tail, and I'm going to work my way up my spine. Now I'm still continuing to feel that external rotation, but I am not using it to kind of hoist myself around the back and then return. And then I can do it again. My arm is going to rotate, and then I'm going to start that rotation right through my tail, work it up my body, all the way around, and return. And rotate. So this is getting some really nice isometric holding work, some stamina, some endurance in those rotator muscles. And then I'm working my way up. Tailbone rotates, belly rotates. Feel like what? My spine, ribs, my sternum, my neck, my head, and return. And how about we do one more of those? So feeling that rotation, and then just starting the rotation in the spine, and then the arm is just maintaining that little extra endurance work for those muscles, and then return. I'm going to flip my hand, and I'm going to draw my sword. So I'm going to come from the bottom, you can think maybe your hip bone, and then my arm is going to reach out into space. My palm faces forwards, and then I resist and come back in. So just in the other videos I was talking about, that the work is both ways. And I always like to say that it's actually more so coming in to control that resistance of the band. So it doesn't over control you. It is a mutually beneficial relationship. I don't know how beneficial it is to the band, but it's beneficial for you. And then bring it down. And we could also add rotation here, so you can reach. And then start with your tailbone. Feel that move up the belly. So can you feel how that arm is really working to reach out into space against that resistance, but the spine is staying nice and quiet. We are not like doing this super twisty thing. We're not yanking ourselves around to the back. And return back in, and you could always do a couple more of those. Then we're going to switch to this hand. And band is going to go behind your arm, and you can have straight fingers, you can make a fist, you can wrap, it doesn't matter. And you're going to press up and return. So I like to call this exercise leader of the band down Main Street. So it reminds me of, and I know he has a name, he's the guy that stands in the front with his little pole, and he is just marching and keeping the beat. So we just want to feel like we reach up into space and back down. Your shoulder blade belongs to your arm, so you're going to feel it. It's going to just rotate up and rotate down. Don't lock it onto your back. Let it glide and slide and fly up and back down. Fingers, arms, shoulder blade. And then you might even start to notice, oh my goodness, that goes into my ribs. And return. And if you wanted to add a little side bend, you could. You could go side, you could go straight. Either one, great idea. You just want to be really clear about which one you're doing. The side bend. And I'm going to return, and then maybe you could even alternate. You can get pretty creative. And how about one more side bend? Take it over, feel that beautiful bend in the spine from your tail to your head, and bring yourself back in, and we rest. We would just let that go. And again, it's nice to, just take that arm, maybe even shake it out, a little jiggle, get it kind of moving and alive again after it's been in some of these more held positions. And then we would just take this band, flip it over like a little seatbelt, and do this entire series on the other side. So if you want to do that, all you need to do is just start the video again and just do it with your other arm. So that is all of our little side arm rotator work for our flex band series.